Greeted fellow modelers, today let's look at an exciting jet from Fiddlers Green, presenting the F-100 Super Sabre from the Quick Build series, the beautiful Thunderbird. Let's begin. Go check out fiddlersgreen.net. There you'll find hundreds of models for you to choose to build from. Now let's begin. So here we have the F-100 Super Sabre. Now look at this beautiful silver bird. This one done in the Thunderbird version. The fuselage, the stabilizer, the fin. And here we have a one-piece wing set, the spine and canopy, and the wing fences that goes right along here. And we have, of course, the landing gear and the landing gear doors. And here we have the instructions on how to put the model together. So, Rob Carlson, thank you for a beautiful design. Let's begin. So, we're going to need some tools, yes? And here we have my all-time favorite, Alene Tacky Glue. Then we have our super glue to hold things instantly. I use that for glue and anything. Of course, my X-Acto knife. Tweezers. You can't have enough perfect tweezers. And then steel rule, yes. Scissors. And a cutter. Toothpick. And let me tell you, you won't believe how awesome that is. And of course, a cake decorating tool. I use the edges. And that's it. So let's cut the parts out, yes? In cutting the parts out, again, it just helps me to focus on what I need to work on. That's it. So it's no special thing. I just cut the parts out and go at it. This is going to be exciting to build. Let's start with a wing. I love the fact that it's a one piece. There's no dihedral, so that's supposed to be easier, meaning no up angle in the wing looking on it from the front view. So here we cut, we use the steel rule, we line up the areas, and then we bend. Repeat to the other side. And then we're going to put, after this, we score the edges here that we fold over, but we're going to put our curve in the upper section, both sides. You see? And that's what basically come together. So we just fold the other tabs over, and this we'll glue. Now to put in our reinforcement, this, I love to do this, to put the reinforcement in the wing so we have a strong and sturdy wing when we're finished with our model. So we glue one side down, we glue the side down with the tab on it first, and then we do the other side. Do the tabs. Usually I would say don't do the tabs, but do the part where the tab will be attached to. That way the tab will have its strength. But this worked just the same. And there we have a wing. Not bad. Simple yet effective. We just snip excess parts and we're good to go. Nice. So the fin and the stabilizer assembly, we cut the parts out, and you may be wondering why I keep showing the cutting out of parts. Is because sometimes I use the X-Acto knife, sometimes I use the scissors. It really doesn't matter. It's what you feel real comfortable with and what you can score good clean cuts with. Okay? So here you see me folding the stabilizer, and I will do this for both sides. And then for the fin, I use the back side of the blade to just score the tab that I'm bending over here. Put a little curve in the fin, and then put curve in the other side, and then we can join it. This way it works.
some glue on. We join it as you see here. First the leading edge of the fin, then the trailing edge. Once we align the leading edge and everything good, and then we press it against a flat surface so it's pretty much level. Flip over on both sides, and then that toothpick there is to make sure that it has the body, it's not totally flat. It helps give the fin and the stabilizers a more realistic look. Same thing we apply to the stabilizers, yes? Nice. Repeat the same to the other side. And then we'll put a toothpick in both ends, just like this, to just keep that open. Nice. Lovely. Our Thunderbird coming together. The fuselage assembly. This is going to take some time. It's a beautiful fuselage and the designer did their work really well. This went together pretty good. So here we're cutting out the tabs. If you wanted to make this even more astounding, even more incredible, you could cut those tabs off and replace them with strips on the inside and join it so the fuselage is flush. And that way it looks even more incredible. Trust me on that. Here you see I'm putting in the bend. This sort of imitate the cross section when you look at an F-100. So yeah. And now you see where I'm putting the glue on. I'm putting it not on the tab, but on where the tab will go. So the tab will have the strength enough to stay up, and that area will move slightly so the joint will be secure. And then we use our cake decorating tool to flatten the inside, and then we repeat the process for the rest of the model. We just put bends in, repeat the same process of putting glue on the panel, not the tab, and then we line it up pretty much. And that's how we do it. I decided at length to just show the whole fuselage being built, mainly because the practice of cutting out those tabs, I hate it. I really genuinely hate it. It's like time consuming, but it does work at the end of the day. And this is how our model go together. I'm really loving this particular Fiddlers Green model because even though it is simple enough to build, the final look of it is really worthy of being in the more serious categories of scale models in paper, right? Just a little alteration here and there and you have yourself a proper F-100 Super Sabre model. What would be nice is if this could come with accessories like some missiles and bombs and fuel tank. Now that would be impressive. I hope you like what you're seeing so far. I really enjoy bringing these to you. And here you see we're putting in the air intake, the inside, and you notice how I didn't join it together. I left it open, then I put it inside the air intake. Once I have formed the general shape, I use super glue to hold that shape in place. And that way the front is solid and secure. Then we just go on to the tail section of our fuselage. You see I'm using my steel rule to put a basic bend just below where the stabilizer would be. Something to pay attention to. Our tabs again, and then we roll the top half. because it turned out that the tail section of the F-100 was a little more flat in the back. You see where those two slots are where the rudder fin is? You see me making a hole between them? Pay attention to that for the future when we are installing our fin. And now we're putting in the final piece of our fuselage here. Lovely. I am really impressed with how this kit is. It's simple yet so effective. Now the jet exhaust, simple, straightforward. Although you see me cut this out, I did not show that I painted the inside there. So paint the inside of your exhaust, okay? So that way you know you don't have to worry about it when it comes to finishing your model. You see I'm bending in the tabs just a little because it was a little bigger than the area where it was supposed to go, which is good. And then we lock the exhaust into place. And there we have our fuselage. So here's where it comes in now. You see I'm snapping off those tabs. Those otherwise you could just put there, but I'm not going to use that. You see I'm putting in the toothpick, secure it with super glue once I make sure it is straight up. I just put some glue on the base of the fin and slide on. So that way that fin will be solid, it will be straight, it won't bend. Just add some structure there. And of course, I just made slices where the stabilizer would be and just slide a toothpick there and repeat the same process as a fin with the stabilizers. Now, if you want to know where the leading edge of the stabilizer is, you just look and you will see a panel line just in front of one and on the other side of E. That's where you line it up there. Yes, you're good to go. I just love how this jet coming together. Don't you think? It's just really a great looking model. Easily one of my favorite, easily. So the spine and canopy, I've decided let's integrate them before we attach them to the fuselage. Yes? So here we're cutting out the spine of our model. That's where it will go. So we're going to give it a bend by using our brush handle. And then to make it smaller, we use a toothpick. Yes, so that way it won't crease. So that's my tip in this thing, to get a proper circle with those small tools. Here you see I'm using the slot. That's to test fit that the spine is in the correct location. And there you have it. So the canopy, we're going to just cut out, and just like with all the other canopies that I've done, you cut just a little beyond where they say you should stop. Use our brush handle to put the bend and the curve in. And once I do both these sides and the front, the canopy front, I am going to use a cake decorating tool to sort of round it a bit, as you'll see. Nice, look at that. Let's lock up everything now and just give it a slight rounding. Yeah. And now that's how it will stay with the spine. So let's just put in a tab, okay? Cut a strip of paper. We're going to glue it on the inside. And this, what you see I'm doing here, even with the spine, this is what I'm saying you could do with the fuselage to make it even look far more accurate, yeah? Put some glue on the canopy, and then we can just join both Now that we have one piece, this now we can put on the fuselage itself. Put some glue down at the spine area first. Let's lock that up. Take your time, it's not a race. Just lock it there on the fin. Check that the glue is settled properly. And then we can add glue where the canopy is. Yeah? A bit at a time. And there you go. Right? You can smear it at the base so when it dries, it will shrink and it will look so good. So here's where I was worried. It said after joining, cut the area where the wing would be across the fuselage. And I was like, no, it will buckle it. But amazingly, it worked. And it worked out so good. So use a sharp blade to cut it out, okay? And then get that wing in. And take your time, okay? Because it's really a snug fit. And don't worry about the little space. Your glue, the alien glue especially, it will provide some bulk. So you put just basic glue down to tack everything in place. And once it dry and hold, then you use more glue to just block the space. And there you have your F-100, friends. Look at that. Nice. The wing fences, it's the little details that make a model look really good. So here you see I'm there doing the fences, glue, we cut, and then look, I'm going to put a curve in it, okay? Because this is important. You see I hold both ends and sort of bend it. Yes. So that paper can curve, okay? And that is to help accommodate for that aerofoil. And there you go. Not bad. Not bad at all, my friends. Look at that. Loving it. Love it. Landing gear installation, and we're almost home. So we put down the landing gear doors and the landing gear itself. Let's start with the main landing gear, shall we? Okay, so we're going to just cut it out. And then, like I usually do, we're going to make a hole right there in the center. Once we bend it, listen, I just bend it to make sure the base of the wheel touch and fold it. And then put a little hole here. And through this, I'll put my toothpick, a shaved down toothpick. Apply some glue, and that's it. We repeat the process with the other landing gear, and then we just clip off the excess. And then we pay attention to the nose wheel. So that's it, yeah? With the nose wheel, it's going to get a little bit technical, but trust me, it's going to add so much. So just like the main landing gear, we do the same thing. Slice off a piece of toothpick, and that's what we'll use. Just like the main landing gear, lock it up, and we're good. But here's where we're going to do things a little different. That wheel is supposed to be double wheel, so we're going to cut the wheel off. Don't be alarmed. We're going to do another set of wheel. Alright. Glue put together. We get a toothpick. Hold one end. Clip it. And then we put glue on the other end. Attach it. And there's our wheel. Look at that. That's the dual nose wheel. Yes? And then we just put back our landing gear in between, and bam, there you go. This is what it's all about. And then we just put our landing gear doors on, And pretty much that's it. I hope you enjoy this particular build. I really had fun doing this. Just seeing a model like this come alive, I am tempted to do it one more time in the Southeast Asian camo scheme and use tabs which are only on the inside and just really show it with accessories like bombs and rockets and fuel tank. It would be nice to see what it turns out to be. Hats off to Fiddlers Green on this beautiful model. So this is just putting in the main landing gear doors and landing gear and pretty much finish. I must tell you, once you're finished with this model, remember to always finish it properly with some paint. It's one thing to build a model, it's a next one you can just take it just a little bit more with finishing up with some nice painting of the edges, right? Get some paint, blue, white, red, do your magic, okay? And paint the wheel black, all the edges of the paper. This way, it will look quite impressive. So I just want to thank you so much for all that you have done for me here at Neil Paper Model. It started as a dream to say, let me show how I did modeling, paper modeling. And here we are, just going at it with all these different models. You people, as a friend said, you guys rock. Thank you so much, especially to my Patreon members. Thank you for joining me, for being here. I hope to see you all next week. And until then, my friends, stay safe and one love.